and to also correlate it with Ayurveda. I know that in modern times, and especially in the West, we have come to separate sciences from one another and to compartmentalize them. And even if you look at yoga, it's very, very recently that we start seeing the introduction of Ayurveda into yoga. Before, I think that people were used to just doing asanas and not necessarily thinking of their constitution, what would be good for a pitta constitution or for a vata or a kapha constitution, or not knowing what types of asanas would benefit each type of constitution or would be a remedial measure for specific ailments. And I think that it is absolutely wonderful that we are seeing more and more of Ayurveda being incorporated into systems of health as well as yoga. But one thing that is also very, very new is that in our modern times is that Ayurveda and Jyotish are finding one another again. This used to be a given in the past, in ancient times. These two systems of knowledge were not separate. They worked hand in hand in order to bring a higher understanding, a more complete understanding of what we can do to help ourselves. And as I said, it's only really in the 20th century, or maybe even earlier than that, but more modern times, that everything has been separate. The Hindu culture of India has its roots in the Vedas, and that is the sacred knowledge that is said has been imparted to the rishis by the Creator, by Lord Brahma. And that they say that this was even imparted, or it was there even before the earth was created. And the rishis were highly evolved beings. They meditated a lot, and they accessed this information by meditating and from the Akashic plane. Astrology is known as Vedanga. It's a limb of the Vedas, and so is Ayurveda. Ayurveda is another limb of the Vedas. They go hand in hand in the sense that there are a lot of books in astrology, even the classics, that talk about Ayurvedic terms. For example, we have the elements in Jyotish. We also have the gunas in Jyotish. We have the dhatus, the correlation between the planets and the dhatus in Jyotish. Every planet, every house, every sign has some organs that are related to it. We actually have a branch of Jyotish that is medical astrology, which covers the organs of the body, and if we compound that with Ayurveda, then it becomes an extremely potent tool to be able to help ourselves as well as the teacher, as our clients, the people that we are trying to heal. Astrology is, as a limb of the Veda, it's a little bit like the eyes of the Veda. So by knowing about your chart, your horoscope, it gives you a better idea to see the truth, as opposed to what you may think is the truth, as opposed to what you think is your desire for things that you take as the truth. The truth is what you bring in this life, what we bring in this life as our karmas. The karmas from past action, they play out in this life, a portion of the karmas play out in this life, and at the time of our birth, at the very moment of our birth actually, the planets are situated in the sky in a very specific way. And it's as though we take a snapshot of the sky, and we see that these planets are aligned in a specific way, and at that very time, that becomes the chart of the newborn. Of course, that chart changes maybe a few minutes later, or just even a couple of minutes later, that chart would have changed.